Welcome to Susan's So Creative. I'm Susan Anderson, and today I'll be sharing with you my awful attempt at free motion quilting and how I rescued it using ProStitcher Designer. Stick around and find out how to turn an area into a stitch pattern.
I made this great little quilt for Christmas. The pattern was from one of my favorite books, Many Wonderful Curves, and using their rulers. But I ran into a bit of a challenge when going to quilt this. I couldn't find a pattern that would fit in the spaces of the tree. So I was left with no alternative other than doing free motion, which I didn't like, and recording it so I could complete my whole tree. To record in ProStitcher, you're going to go to the ProStitcher tab. You're going to find the record option, and you're going to click on the record down here in the bottom right corner. Make sure that you've got your starting point where you want to start before you hit that record button. Hit the record, and now you see your start stop here, and I can go ahead and move my machine out or stitch my machine or whatever I'm going to do with it in order to get my design that I would want to go through. Now, you can see where my free motion is not the best, including with a mouse. But this is my little Christmas present to you. I went and after finishing my quilt top, getting it ready to quilt, I went ahead and tried, and you can see it in my final result here, on creating a feather. Well, obviously, I'm not real good at feathers, and I'm not real good at freehand. That being said, what I did do was I saved the design that I recorded in ProStitcher, and I didn't stitch it. All I did was move my machine around using a washout thread, and which I obviously removed when I was done, and then came back into ProStitcher Designer where I could edit the design to make it look like I knew what I was doing. So turning on my icon that allows me to show the edit outlines, angles, etc., all my little stitch points here, I'm now able to go back in and move each individual angle to wherever I need it to be to clean up my design so that I get a beautiful feather when I'm done. So it does take a little bit of time, but at least I've got a design that's going to fit in the outline that I had proposed for my quilt top. Now, I also traced the area that I needed to fill in so I know exactly the space or the size of my design when finished. And here's the feather I ended up with after doing all my cleanup. By the time I got this done, which didn't take me maybe 10 minutes, I was tickled to death with my final results. Select all, and I'm going to copy it and bring you back to the area. And we can see how this is going to nicely fit into the design shape. And I have my feather that fits my shape perfectly. I also had to come up with a half feather. So what I did was just delete part of the first design and leave the second half. And there is my half feather. So from going from this to this final result, I ended up with a beautiful tree. In order to change a shape or traced outline into a stitch pattern, what I'm going to do is right-click onto the items listed in the sequence. I'm going to convert to running stitches and apply. Now when I go down here and open up, I actually have 265 stitches on my run. So I've just converted a shape or traced area into a stitch design. Not only did I have fun creating the design, I learned a lot, and I now have confidence to go and do more free motion I can clean up in ProStitcher Designer.
Thanks for joining me today. Remember to check with your local dealer for any of the items or accessories shown in today's video. I'll look for you next time on Susan's So Creative, where it's only wrong if it doesn't work. Bye for now.